I never told him. Not on the first date. Not after the third. Not when he proposed on a Tuesday night in our kitchen with a ring he'd been hiding in a cereal box for 2 weeks. Not once in 2 years did I sit down and say, "Daniel, there's something you should know about me." He knew I was in the Navy. That was enough for him. He never pushed. I never offered. Big mistake. Mine. Daniel's unit was holding a base event, Family Day, USS Bataan, full attendance expected. He asked me to come. I said yes without thinking. I figured I'd stay quiet, smile, be the supportive fiancé in the background. In and out. I wore a gray blazer. No insignia. No rank. Just a woman showing up for her man. We hadn't even made it 20 feet onto that deck. Captain Harris, Daniel's commanding officer, the man Daniel had spoken about with genuine admiration for over a year, was walking toward us from across the yard. Mid-conversation with 2 other officers. Not looking our way. Then he was. He stopped walking. The 2 officers beside him stopped too. And Captain Harris, a man I had never seen hesitate at anything Daniel described, came to full attention and saluted. "Admiral Mitchell. Ma'am. We weren't informed you'd be joining us today." Nobody moved. I returned the salute cleanly, the way you do when your body has done it 10,000 times and doesn't ask your brain for permission anymore. "At ease, Captain. I'm here personally today." He nodded. Stepped back. And that was it. 10 seconds. Maybe less. But 10 seconds was enough. Daniel turned to look at me the way you turn to look at something when you're not sure what you just saw. Slow. Careful. Like the ground might be different than it was a moment ago. He didn't say anything. Not there. Not with 50 people watching. He just looked at me with those eyes that I had spent 2 years learning to read. And what I saw in them wasn't anger. It was the quiet devastation of a man realizing that the person he knew completely, he didn't know at all. We stayed for 2 hours. He was professional the entire time. Shook hands, smiled, answered questions. Nobody watching would have seen a thing. I watched everything. The drive home was 17 minutes. He didn't speak for 16 of them. Then, "Rear Admiral." Not a question. "Yes," I said. "How long?" "The whole time." He nodded once. Slowly. The way people nod when they're not agreeing, when they're just processing something too big to argue with yet. Why? And here's the thing about Daniel. He doesn't ask questions to fight. He asks because he actually wants the answer. So I gave him the real one. I told him that every relationship I'd had since the promotion had turned into something I didn't recognize. That the rank changes people before they even realize it's happening. That I had watched men I respected become uncomfortable, or competitive, or suddenly very interested in what I could do for their careers. And then I told him the part that was hardest to say out loud. I didn't want that to happen to us. So I waited. And then I kept waiting. And then it had been so long that telling you felt more dangerous than not telling you. 16 more seconds of silence. Then he said, "So you protected yourself. At my expense." I didn't answer. Because he was right. And we both knew it. He pulled into the driveway and sat there with the engine off. "I'm not leaving," he said finally. "But I need you to understand something. I didn't fall in love with a rank. I fell in love with you. And you didn't trust me enough to show me all of you. That's the part that actually hurts." He got out of the car. I sat there alone for a moment in the dark. And I thought, 2 years. 2 years of carefully managing what he knew. 2 years of telling myself it was protection when really it was fear. Fear that if he saw the full picture, he'd rearrange how he felt about me. He didn't. That was the part one hadn't planned for. We're getting married in June. Captain Harris is invited. Daniel thought it was only fair, since technically, he's the one who told him. Moral of the story: stop shrinking yourself for people who haven't even asked you to. The one worth keeping won't flinch at your full size.